I thought it was a great performance. You know, I thought I did what I wanted in the ring. I thought I picked it up when I wanted to. I thought I banged when I wanted to, boxed real well. I don't take nothing from it.
You have power, you carry what? Pacquiao, we forget about a guy like that. He used to be a jockey. And what did he do? He carried his power and he carried his speed, obviously, as the smaller man. Crawford carries his speed, he carries his power. And the most important thing is what's inside of Crawford. He's a special guy. He doesn't believe you can beat him. And it's hard to beat a guy who doesn't believe you can beat him.
I still would be running myself in the dirt because I always felt like if I put more days in work, then I got just as much days.
Terence "Bud" Crawford, fresh off what might be the greatest victory of his career against Canelo Alvarez, quietly hint at a shocking retirement? Just moments after sealing his name among the all-time greats, a wave of cryptic messages and subtle signs started to appear. Crawford, standing at the very peak of his power, has left the boxing world in disbelief with whispers of walking away. There's nothing more he needs to prove. He just reminded everyone he's the undisputed king, dismantling a legend in a performance that will be remembered forever.
But that ninth round came, you got into your stance, you got low. I said, oh, he finna try to bang with him. And you had those exchanges, and did that just happen, or you knew when that bell rang, that ninth round, I'm finna try to see, I'm finna test him?
No, I just knew just to pick it up because, you know, it was getting close to the championship rounds, and I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I set a tone that I was in charge.
He made a big mistake at the end of that round, though.
Yeah.
He reached out and acknowledged that he shook his head and...
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
And he really made the first mistake at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Like, that don't mean everything. That don't mean that Terence is gonna win the fight or whoever gonna win the fight. But when you break that steer, it wasn't just him breaking the steer first. He reached his hand out to you at the weigh-in. I said, ooh-wee. Then he did it again in the ninth round. When he did it in the ninth round, I say, yeah, this fight, it ain't over, but it's over. He got his respect, and that's really what he came here to get. You've seen him do that, right?
Yeah. I walked away.
Yeah.
I walked off.
Yeah. What was you thinking when you seen that concession?
I'm like, man, we ain't touching no hands.
But did you think like, oh, I got it?
No, I didn't think nothing. I already knew I had him. I felt like I was winning all the rounds except, you know what I mean, one. I felt like he could have got the, you know what I mean, what was it, the fifth round? You know what I mean? But all the other rounds, I'm like, I'm in control.
Crawford looks ready to make the ultimate power move, walking away from the ring as boxing's undefeated king. But was that historic win his perfect mic drop? Or is there still another chapter waiting in one of the sport's most legendary stories? The night of September 13th, 2025, was meant for one purpose: to cement a legacy. The stakes were massive. One loss, especially a brutal one, could have stained an otherwise flawless record. But Crawford didn't just win, he conquered. With a masterclass of timing, precision, and raw power,
It became a fight where Crawford made it where Canelo, to have any chance, he had to go get close. So he had to go through a bad neighborhood.
Yep.
And Crawford mugged him. It's that simple. He had to go through a bad neighborhood to get anything done, to get to the place that something was going to be done good.
Yeah.
And he got mugged going through that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Well, if I think about it, if I do come back, can you train me?
We're not even,
Please. I'm asking you right
Are
now
you
if I
kidding me?
do.
Do they have commercials on this thing? You guys got commercials?
fellow boxer Blair Cobbs later claimed he believed Canelo was hurt multiple times and could have been knocked out toward the end. A true reflection of just how dominant that performance was. With that win, Crawford achieved the unimaginable, becoming the first male fighter in the modern four-belt era to unify titles across 3 different weight divisions. He had climbed a mountain so high, so absolute, that it erased every doubt about his greatness. But even before the first bell against Canelo, a quiet question had already begun to grow. During a May 27th interview with Sporting News Australia, A reporter asked if this super fight might be the final one of his career. Crawford, with a knowing smile that spoke volumes yet revealed nothing, delivered just 5 words that sent shockwaves across boxing. Who knows? We shall see.
I know you're not looking past this fight and you take things one step at a time, but is there a chance that this is your last fight?
Who knows? We shall see.
At the time, it felt easy to brush off. Just a fighter locked in, focused on the mission ahead. But looking back, it was the first real sign that retirement wasn't some faraway idea. It was already taking shape in his mind. Crawford was quietly weighing his exit, and the Canelo fight stood as his ultimate crossroads. A win would be the perfect ending, the defining moment of his story. But once the dust settled and the belts gleamed in his hands, the whispers began to grow louder. Right after the fight, with the world watching live on Netflix, Max Kellerman asked the question everyone was thinking. Had we just witnessed the final fight of his career? Crawford, still breathing heavy from 12 rounds of war, gave nothing away. Like I said before, I don't know, he replied calmly. I've got to sit down with my team, and we're going to talk about it. There was no clear no promise to return. And in a sport where fighters usually map out their next few battles, that uncertainty spoke V.
What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing? Why are we still in the game?
Just a couple of weeks later, on September 30th, Crawford sat down with the legendary Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast. When Ward asked about what comes next, Crawford finally revealed a key piece of the puzzle. "I'm just chilling, man," he said, his tone calm but reflective. "I haven't even had the time to sit down with my team yet, but I've talked with my family, and I know what my family wants."
Yeah, but then when you get to that point where you know, like, oh, I can take a rest day because, let my muscles, recover so I can get more out of it. In this fight, I ain't gonna get tired. I've been here before. I put the work in. That was always my fear, is being in a fight and getting tired to where I couldn't perform.
He never said outright what his family wanted, but the message was hard to miss. Reading between the lines, it felt clear. The people closest to him, the ones who'd watched the endless grind, the sacrifices, the punishing training camps, they might be ready for him to finally hang up the gloves. The life of a fighter carries enormous pressure and a brutal physical cost, not just for the athlete, but for everyone who loves them. And for his family, seeing him reach the very peak of the sport, financially secure, legacy untouchable, and health still intact, this might be the perfect moment to step away.
Terence Crawford know when it's time to hang it up.
When I want to. I'm going to retire from boxing before I let boxing retire me. I always said that I'm going to retire on my own terms, and I'm going to feel good because everything that I did it my way. Whether it took me however many years to get to the point where I'm at, I did it my way. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people can criticize me and say, oh, well, he re-signed with Top Rank and he's this, he's that. But at the time, that was the best move for me in my career. You feel me?
As a modern champion who himself walked away undefeated, Ward approached the conversation with a quiet understanding few could match. He spoke about the rare privilege of leaving the sport with both an unblemished record and lasting health, a luxury only a handful of legends ever experience. He didn't offer advice outright, but every question carried the echo of his own story, nudging Crawford to look inward and consider what truly matters when the gloves finally come off.
Is it important to you to retire unbeaten?
Oh yeah, man, listen.
I can be a sore winner and a sore loser. Like, I'm that competitive. Like, I don't like to lose at anything. If I had a loss on my record right now, I probably think about it daily. Probably be something I have to work through daily. Like, man, if I'd have just, So I'm glad I got that.
Gotta rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10. Because he definitely had the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue, because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
While his family's wishes held tremendous weight, the boxing world itself was sharply split. The argument for retirement was powerful and simple. Perfection. A spotless 42-0 record. A legacy already etched in stone. Legends like Roy Jones Jr. were among the first and loudest to urge him to walk away while on top, to protect the rarest treasure in boxing, a flawless record untarnished by time or risk.
What should both guys do next?
I mean, Canelo probably got to go back and decide what he wants to do. But if I were Bud, I would just retire. Terence is very special. He definitely goes in the top 10, maybe even the top 5 of the best pound for pound ever.
Do you think, is there anything more for him now, would you say?
Nothing else left for him. That was it. He can call it a day now if he wants to.
Even former opponents like Sean Porter, who's felt Crawford's greatness up close, echoed the same belief. There's nothing left for him to prove.
I get to know these fighters, and I get to understand who they are, where they come from, and what makes them who they are, both in and out of the ring. And that's why I respect a lot of the guys. I didn't say all of that, but I said, I did say that I respect it. Like I said, you would think that the way my fight ended with Terence, that I would have animosity towards him or that I would dislike him. I said, I know who he is. And so beyond what we did in the ring, I got nothing but respect for this man.
Legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas cautioned against the timeless tragedy of fighters who stay one bout too long, urging Crawford to protect his perfect ending. Even Blair Cobbs, who ranks him as the second greatest of all time, just behind Muhammad Ali, believes he should retire with peace and pride. Having spoken with Crawford many times, Cobbs's words carried a personal touch and deep respect, honoring a champion who chose the hardest path and conquered it completely.
Crawford, all I see is that the best thing for him to do now is to retire. No, I don't think that he'll fight again. I know Crawford. I've spoke to him numerous times. I've called him out numerous times. I even said, yo, man, you might as well just come with me, man. Train me then, motherfucker. You know what I mean? God damn. Like, come on. You know what I mean?
So you giving a call out to Bomac. You want to go to that team?
Well, I like for somebody like me, I would appreciate somebody like Crawford when it comes to his mentorship.
Yeah.
His mentorship. Because to tell you the truth, there's a lot of things that I'm going through in boxing that he's going through. Maybe not on the level of me.
Yeah.
But he's gone through a lot of that stuff. There's been a lot of doors that shut in his face, even though he was great, even though he proven himself many times over. There's many doors that shut in his face, and delays over the top of delays for the Earl Spence fight. There was all kinds of things that happened with Crawford. Is reason why I respect him probably more than most people and most fighters. He didn't get the
signs were there all along. Fellow champion Stephen Fulton had even predicted it before the fight. If Crawford wins, he'll probably retire. But standing opposite that was the irresistible pull of money and more glory. A rematch with Canelo could bring in another 9-figure payday. And fresh challenges were already waiting at middleweight. The debate burned hotter than ever. Protect the perfect legacy or risk it all, chasing something even greater.
Don't play with my boy. It's over with. It's over with. I told the whole world, pay me. Suckers. Retire, bud. Retire, bud. It's over. You ain't got nothing else to prove. Let's go fishing, bud. Let's go fishing, bud. Retire. It's over with.
Adding to the debate were voices with rare insight. Crawford's friend and former rival, Timothy Bradley Jr., spoke from first-hand experience, saying that after a win of this magnitude, there's no need to gamble with perfection and every reason to walk away on his own terms.
I beat this guy, it's his excuse, I beat this guy, you know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really gonna give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative, like, man, y'all watching something great right now and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. And I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
Offering a sharply different take was the legendary Bernard Hopkins. Famous for his unmatched longevity and sharp business sense, Hopkins presented the counterpoint. With Crawford's fame at its absolute peak, he argued, now was the perfect time to cash in on a few more blockbuster paydays. Because in boxing, opportunities like these don't last forever.
Mac, you've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired or is he going to keep fighting?
Oh, he's going to keep fighting.
He's going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But for Crawford, the idea of retirement runs much deeper than just stepping away from the ring. For years, he's been one of the loudest voices fighting for the welfare of boxers, long after the spotlight fades. In countless interviews, he's spoken with real conviction about the need for pensions, 401ks, a fighter's union, and real healthcare for athletes whose bodies have paid the price for the sport. His possible retirement isn't just a personal decision. It's tied to a vision for a fairer future for every fighter who comes after him. Crawford knows too well the heartbreaking pattern of champions who leave the sport with nothing. His thoughtful approach to his own exit feels like a statement, a chance to show a better way. This bigger picture mindset adds depth to his decision, proving it's not about money or fame. It's about purpose.
For him to be this far along in all these years, I think that he's #1.
He's been non-committal about his future. Do you think we ever see him fight again?
I don't want to see him fight no more.
Oh, really?
In my opinion.
Really?
Nah, I don't. I think that it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like them training camps, that wear and tear on your body, and me being his brother, like I really got like endless love for this guy. I don't want to see it. I think he did everything that in the sport that he could do. I think there's nothing else that can be done. He made one of the best fighters of our generation look average. And I think that's a huge accomplishment, and I think it's time to retire on the high horse.
Do you think he retires?
Knowing Bud, it's hard to say. Bud is crazy. I mean, I already know like what he can do in the boxing ring is different, and training camps, the hard work that he put in that comes together on fight night. He can go and do different things, and he don't have to retire. But for me, I would want to see it.
So what does all this mean for one of boxing's greatest warriors? The answer is still wrapped in mystery. A puzzle made of cryptic words, family voices, and a legacy that already stands complete. The mix of signals, the pressure, the anticipation, it's all built into a moment thick with suspense. Only Crawford knows what comes next. Whether he decides to hang up the gloves as an undefeated, undisputed king, or steps back in for one last monumental challenge. Terence, Bud, Crawford has already changed the limits of what's possible inside the ring. The real question isn't if he's a legend. It's how his legendary story will finally end.
If you were to not fight again, you'd be undefeated at 42-0. Would that satisfy you?
If that was the decision that I made, that my team made, for me to walk away, away from the sport, then of course I'll be, content and happy because that's the decision that I made. I'm not gonna make something, that I'm not comfortable with. I had a great career. I've done some tremendous things in the sport of boxing. I made a lot of history. What can I not be proud of if I walked away from the sport right now? I don't have no regrets because everything that I did it my way. So if I was to walk away from the sport right now, I wouldn't have no reason to hold my head down.
So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. And hey, drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.